Now back to
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM.
Doesn't make any sense.
Jim Norton, why did you have the best week ever? The listeners are fucking pissed off at this point. We've been teasing this for 2 hours.
I don't think the listeners care, but
We had a week off, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
I chilled at the ocean. Aunt got a kitten. And Jimmy had the best week ever.
One of my better weeks. I don't have any great stories. I was out in L.A. and I had fun. And, well, as everybody knows, I had
with famous people.
Well, a little bit. I was asked to interview Black Sabbath, which I've done before, but this was for their DVD. So they asked me
for the DVD.
They asked me to interview them for their DVD. Yeah,
wow.
Which I did.
Holy shit, that's great.
That was pretty amazing.
Cool, right there.
Right.
So I went to I went to Ozzy's house, and sat in Ozzy's house for a little while and interviewed Sabbath, and it was great. We talked for about an hour.
The whole band went there?
Yeah, I mean, it was Bill, Geezer, Tony. I mean, not Bill. It wasn't Bill. It was Ozzy, Geezer, and Tony.
Right.
And they had a ball. We had a few big laughs.
Oh.
And it was great. And I went to the show the next night, and they had asked me if I wanted to go with. I was going to get a ride with fucking Tommy, the drummer, and the fucking keyboard player Adam. They take a van. And I was supposed to go to the concert with them. I was like, fuck, I'm going to go with a couple guys from the band.
Oh, man.
And Sharon's like, we'll get you a car if you want to bring somebody, or you could just go with Tommy and Adam. And I'm like, well, fuck bringing somebody. I'll go with Tommy and Adam.
Yeah, of course.
But I didn't wind up going with them because I got 2 days before they called and they're like, would Jim want to go with Ozzy to the show?
Oh.
And I said, yeah, Jim would want to go with Ozzy to the show. So fucking the day after I interview Black Sabbath, I get picked up and taken to Ozzy's house, and I get to fucking go to the Sabbath show with Ozzy in his fucking car. We took an hour ride together in his car. He
wasn't driving.
No, it was an SUV, and it was his driver and his assistant were in the front, and then me and the Oz man in the two middle seats. And behind us was another one of his assistants, and this guy, Billy Morrison, who's he was in the Cult, and he's they're very close friends, and we just chatted.
Wow!
And it was remarkably.
Did you have him laughing on the way to his show?
Yeah, more on the way home. On the way to the show, we talked about It was about an hour ride to Irvine, and Florentine was telling Jonathan it's the only time Jim ever prayed for traffic. And we talked for about 20. We started yapping about movies, and then he listens to music. I guess to get ready, like they're all. You know how it is before a show, man. You don't want to be fucking bothered. So I guess like 25 minutes into the ride, he puts his headphones on and just chills and listens to, I think, stuff he's going to sing that night and other stuff and whatever.
Did he go, yeah? Huh?
Ozzy, I'm trying to do this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I stayed away from him before the show. I avoid.
Wait, you get to the venue.
We get to the venue. Probably
you got to slow this whole story down.
We
I want
get
to know
to the
the whole thing.
venue.
So now hold on. All right. So you talk for 20 minutes, and then he puts his headphones on to get in the zone for the show. You're still driving. Now you arrive at the venue.
Yes, and I had asked them the day before too. Like, how long do you guys need before a show? You don't like to be bothered. And Ozzy immediately goes, 1 hour. I don't want to talk to anybody 1 hour before the show at least. And then, I think Geezer said 24 hours. Like these guys want to be left the fuck alone.
No shit.
So I watched actually Tony do his warm up, which I had never been on stage watching the warm up, and we just said a brief hello. And I know to step aside. Like I just don't want to be that annoying guy.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of hanging out backstage looking for shit to do. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to bother Ozzy. He's in his dressing room. And I've heard he does like vocal warm-ups, and that's what these guys do. These singers, it's a nightmare for these guys. They got to do 2 hours of vocal shit before they sing. So I'm walking around like literally. I went out and bought merchandise. I don't know what to do. I'm buying shirts. And I just kind of hung out and ate at craft services and fucking, you know the artist who I met who was really cool? Fucking Shepard Fairey. the guy who did he's the guy who does all those obey things.
Oh, right,
and
yeah,
he did
yeah.
Obama's fucking hope sign.
Of course.
He was there. He's a big Sabbath fan, so I chatted with him. And
Wow,
I got
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he designed their crew shirts, like the fucking backstage crew shirts. So I got a fucking crew, I'm a member of the. I remember the crew
one
now.
of the crew.
Hi guys, remember the crew.
Guys, me. Don't forget me.
I'm on the team.
Hi.
And I watched the show, and it was fucking.
Where'd you watch the show from?
I only stood backstage and watch. I don't want to watch from backstage because the sound quality's not as good. But I
Yeah.
wanted to see them enter the stage from the back, and it was just weird to see them in that zone going on, and just sitting there watching them behind the curtain was really for me. It was a
course.
thrill. And I didn't Ozzy and Tony walked on, and I just saw Geezer and just said hello. Brief, but I could tell he was in that, he actually stopped and went, "Oh, hi, it's Jim." And he just kind of like patted my shoulder lovingly. It was really weird. And then he went on and fucking played War Pigs.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing, man. It was fucking cool to see it from backstage. And for me, it was a thrill. And then I just went out and watched it from the fucking first. And the people, I watched it from behind where because I had like an all access badge. And normally you're not allowed to stand anywhere with those. But they're nicer out in California than they are. Like in Jersey, they would have been such dicks. Can't stand here. But nobody bothered me because I had the badge. They were all just, even when they moved fans along who were kind of standing and just watching from, it's like where the wheelchair people sit. I was standing behind them, so I had a great view. But the security people there weren't yelling at people. They were just moving people along, but they were being really nice. Like they weren't being jerk-offs like they can be here. And then after the show, I went back and, I was fucking, we hustled right out of there. So I just, we all ran to the car. I was a part of the group that runs to the car.
Oh. Pushing fans out of the way.
No, there were really no fans back there, but even it was just, there was 3 fucking SUVs ready to go, and his was the lead one. So of course I'm following Ozzy back to his car, which I would have done anyway, but now I was allowed to get in it. And he jumps in, and the guys jump in the back, and they're ready to go, but I'm stuck outside because I don't know how to make my seat go back, so my seat's folded down, so I'm holding everything up. And I'm like, put the fucking seat back, because I'm scared they're just going to close the door.
And take off.
Yeah.
Ditch you.
But we got the seat back, and I jumped in, and the whole...
Ozzy, gotta show you my pride and joy. Fucking
Snuck in.
Rupert Pupkin.
Sneaks into the limo. What a great scene.
And and we rode back, and this time there was no music. We just yapped the whole fucking.
He was relieved and relaxed at that point. That's so cool.
And fucking eating, and we had a piece of pizza. You know how it is when fucking the pizza box gets open. Ozzy eats pizza and hands you the box. You gotta have pizza.
You saved
look
the
at
box,
that.
didn't you?
No, I passed it back. I wanted to save it. I wanted to save his crust.
Yes, of course. You want a banana? I'll share a banana.
I'll share that with you.
Yeah, my banana. We could split the banana.
It was
remember
fucking.
that?
Get the banana clip ready, Rob.
I love that clip of Jimmy with fucking
Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons and the banana.
Offers his banana, but then decides it'd be way better if they
I love it.
shared the banana.
We just fucking.
God, he's a fucking serial killer.
We chatted for fucking probably
love it.
45 minutes going back.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, dude, it was fucking, and it wasn't awkward, or it wasn't like interview style. It was again, it was so cool an experience. It could have been so fucking painfully frightening that it flipped click into comfortable.
Oh.
Like, you know how you're so overwhelmed by something that it becomes okay, and it's like you go way past where fear would be.
This is actually a dream,
Yeah.
that probably thousands of people have had, and you just lived it.
But it was
That's unbelievable.
It was fucking really fun.
Did you get to sleep over his house?
No,
Sleepover.
there was no sleepover.
Put on your jammies,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
We're going to tell ghost stories.
Jammies.
And
Would you have blown him? Let's get to the real question here.
no, just
We got to let's get to it. On the way home, great Sabbath show. Everyone's now relaxed.
Here's
what would
what
you do if he actually said that?
I would have been really disappointed, only because I know he would have looked at me differently the next day if I did it.
Disappointed.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh man, do I gotta?
All this perfect day, and now Ozzy has to blow me. If I could,
Oh no!
blow him.
It ends like it would have ended with me if I was a chick. Like if I was in the car and a girl got a ride, I
Yes,
would have
of
asked her to blow
course.
me. But it was just
How did the night end, though? So now, do they drop you back off at Ozzy's house?
You go to Ozzy's first, and then
Did you go inside for a little nightcap?
No, nobody
Nothing?
went in. He was tired,
You
man.
guys just kissed on the front stoop?
Yeah. He just said goodnight to everybody. You know how it is. You get a little hug.
That's
Hey, good
awesome.
seeing you, Jim.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it was really a fun. What a fucking great guy, man. And I forget what he said. He really made me laugh, though. It was fucking
Yeah.
We've said it. I mean, he's been in here, what, 5 or 6
Yeah,
times
he's
now.
very
He is
funny.
hilarious.
hilariously funny.
He really is funny, man.
And it was just a great fucking, like, you can't have, but I didn't feel like a contest winner fanboy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it seemed almost like a contest winner, like, thing, like you get so lucky to go to the show, but it was.
Does he seem lonely? Just because he's so famous? Like, it sounds like there wasn't a lot of, like, people around.
No, because
Except for people doing their jobs, obviously.
the people around him are people who he's not. I wouldn't say he's lonely. He's got so many people that want to be around him, and like I noticed that.
Yeah, but that could be lonely because those people, are they truly, friends or?
Well, the people that he selects to be around him before a show are people he's close to. Like
Right.
the guys John and Dave and Billy's a friend. They're not just handlers. They're like people he's really close to. It's like it's
Gotcha.
like literally like having 3 or 4 of your closer friends around you. And then, with all the people that work for him have worked for him for years. And so I felt like I was almost an interloper. Like I was with these people that have this very intimate relationship. And they were all great, and it was comfortable. But that's
Yeah.
I almost didn't want to be a fucking outsider. But again, it was just a fun hang and ride, and I was so glad I could talk about movies, and I didn't talk about the fucking album or
What
Yeah,
kind of house does he have?
big. It's funny. I didn't see. This is why I love Sharon, because it was done in. You saw the picture I twittered. It was me.
No, I was sort of off Twitter a lot.
I twittered a photo. It was from a screen. It was from somebody's iPhone. Like one of the camera guys just happened to snap an iPhone picture. So
Looked
it's not
cool.
as clear as it could be. But and I do realize I need to eventually start going completely bald because I am losing my fucking hair up top. I look balder in a photo because the light hits it a certain way. But it was in Ozzy's fucking house, and there's all these great photos behind, and it did look like a Kubrick picture. I think Anthony
very
said that.
stark
Not one
white.
person said no. You're not Jimmy.
No, you're right. I can't even. No, you'd be.
We're just a bunch of.
No, you're right to say that.
No, we're not though, because I wanted to be the guy, but I figured I'd let someone else say, "No, you're not Jimmy."
But
you're not going bald.
Maybe
Stop
not, but on this photo, I think it was before that, Sam. I think you Twittered the Tonight Show photo. I think it was before then. It actually was before then.
I got you. Wow, that's a great suit you got on with John McCain.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I went to Barney for. I went all
Holy
out.
fuck, is that a nice suit?
Thank you.
Look at you treating yourself.
And I bought a special jacket for the interview. That was before that. That was at the concert.
Right.
Wow.
You have to go to whatever the like.
Holy shit! The world's luckiest turtle interviewing official Ozzy.
Oh yeah, and
What a great picture.
Yeah, that was
Right.
snapped by one of the guy. But I wish it was a little clearer.
Oh,
just
I
it
see what
was
you're saying
an
with your
iPhone.
hair, but no, that's not you.
Yeah,
That's the light.
I think it's the light. But
You look great though, man. Everyone's in black.
yeah, it was a great fucking 45 minutes, almost an hour we talked. It was comfortable. And
I just realized I'm behind on your Twitter a little bit. There's a dead guy doing 75 miles per hour.
oh yeah, that
One
guy
lane
on the way
over.
from the airport. It was fucking creepy.
He's going 75 miles an hour right there?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. Go to Jim Norton on Twitter.
Yeah, I wish that was a little clearer because I would love to blow that up and hang it on my wall. That's a great fucking photo.
That's pretty clear. What are you talking about?
Maybe I'll do a screen grab from.
Tell him to give you the original photo.
No, he did. But it's from an iPhone.
Oh, okay.
It's not from the DVD. I wanted to get a fucking screen grab from the DVD.
So cool.
Fucking great.
Sitting
Can you
there
imagine
like
being in
it's-
Rob Zombie's house or Jack White's house, chatting with him?
Oh, you would like that, would you?
I would. It'd be ridiculous.
Would be ridiculous. You have no reason to be there.
Was that what made it the best week ever, or was there other shit?
No, that was probably it. I mean,
That's pretty cool.
Talking to McCain was great. I mean, he really, the guy was almost fucking president, and he literally was just him in the dressing room. He doesn't but have a bunch of fucking hangers on.
Between the drastic weight loss and you doing this with Ozzy, people are going to think it was your Make-A-Wish thing, you know.
I know, you know. I'm the sick boy. Ask my hero for a ride. I get to go to the show with my favorite guy before I die.
This is seeming a little too weird at this point.
Yeah, it was. We had a lovely, and I bought the jeans and the fucking shoe. I just bought new clothes.
That's Ozzy's house. What are the pictures behind the couch there on the wall?
There's so many. The whole room is like that.
Beautiful room.
Oh,
Jesus.
fuck, dude. There's photos of him that I've never seen before that were taken by, like, you know, obviously world famous photographers. And there's a couple of, like, the Ali underwater picture. There's some very famous photos too. But I know that, like, the pictures behind Ozzy.
Wait, there's a picture of Ali underwater with Ozzy?
No. This is from like 1967. There's a famous photo shoot he did.
Ali did.
Yeah. For Life magazine, I think, where he was standing underwater because there was that rumor he had trained underwater. And there's beautiful pictures of him underwater in a pool in Florida.
I don't know if I've ever seen those shots.
Yeah, and you know, it was just a mock up for the. But there's that one is. He's got that framed beautifully, and there's a few really great shots. But there was like.
You can't train like that.
No.
That's ridiculous. You can't have your whole body under the water like that. But if your head's above the water, I can see. You can throw some jabs in the water.
That's a better photo.
That's a great photo, though.
That I could take and fucking and now with an eye. Like, what a great picture for 50 years ago.
Damn.
But there was pictures of on the wall, and they had to get the reflection from bouncing back in their face because they're all these beautiful glass frames. I should have talked to Sharon about getting museum glass. I'll have to mention that too.
No.
But they took these wood. They were fucking putting these little pieces of wood under her photos and aiming the pictures up a little bit.
Wow.
And it was so great because she walks in and she looked at this crew. And they were all nervous because it was her. And she goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh," and she goes, "No, I'm serious. What the fuck are you doing?" I was so glad to not be on the receiving end of that. She was fucking fuming because these guys just are moving these fucking these really expensive
shit.
crews come into your house and they don't realize that you actually live there.
Yeah.
And they're doing shit like without proper care. Like they just because the whole room was in disarray, and
she's well beyond the point of having to like be nice.
But she was actually right though, because the way they had moved shit around, you're like, oh my god, what the fuck you guys doing? Like there's all these expensive things just piled up in the corner with wire. It's like, you know, I know you got to shoot stuff, but at least handle the room a certain way. You know, this is somebody's real living space. This isn't a fucking set. But it was really nice to hear her fucking snap off at them, and I was just happy that I wasn't on the receiving end of
you get
Bad
to
Boy.
see Sharon lay into somebody.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Very pleasing week.
Yeah,
my greatest week in a long time. And watching my manager almost destroy his marriage with fucking Edgar. You know, let me tell you guys something. When you do April Fools, like there's moon rocks on your shoes.
What?
April Fools.
Oh, yeah.
That's Edgar. Jonathan did it in the fucking restaurant with me, and he does it so loud.
Oh, no.
Dude, it's uncomfortable. People look. People turn around and look. He does it like this. April Fools!
It's not about the volume.
He's a fucking maniac. My manager's a maniac.
He's a lunatic.
Sam heard him do it on speakerphone.
Jim called me on speakerphone, but Jonathan didn't know it was me.
He knew, but he knew it was on speakerphone, but he didn't know we were going to do Edgar.
And so, but then Jim just kind of coaxed. I forgot exactly how he did it, but he coaxed him into it.
I just said something like, there's a spaceship on my house, and then Jonathan just can't help it.
It could have been anyone though on the phone. That's what I'm saying. Like, he knew there was somebody on the phone, but it didn't matter to him at that moment.
It might not be appropriate.
The synapse just kicked in, and he goes, "April Fools!"
But he does it that loud, and dude, he's
a lunatic.
He's fucking doing it in the restaurant, and we're next to it at one point. He did it every night we ate, but one night we're next to this woman, and obviously like her daughter, and I know they were uncomfortable because they thought that somebody mentally ill was sitting next to them.
Right, of course. Because who else would say things like that?
And he's texting me, and he goes, his wife, he put his wife's name, and he goes, Edgar 1 and his wife's name 0, because he goes, he had to apologize to his in-laws because apparently they don't know Edgar. Why would they?
Why
and
would
like,
they? Yeah.
fucking, they're ordering food, and meatballs came, and you know, and he said to her parents, he goes, "Those aren't meatballs; those are moon rock sacrifice."
And they must have just been horrified.
And he said that they laughed uncomfortably, and his wife just has had enough, and he had to apologize.
What is wrong with him?
This is the same guy who, when you started doing Bill Tetley, called his wife and said, "Hey, while you were there," he calls his wife and he goes, "Hey, my friend Bill Tetley is coming over on Wednesday to pick something up, so can you just be there for him?" And she goes, "Okay," and she canceled her shit.
Like her yoga class, she had some other thing, and she forgot to tell her he was just joking.
Yeah, and then she goes, "Your friend didn't show up," and he goes, "What friend? What are you talking about?" And she goes, "Bill Tetley."
He's like,
He goes, "Oh, I was joking. I forgot about that." And she doesn't understand the context.
No,
He obsesses with these
he really is
characters.
fucking completely nuts.
Jesus.
But it's funny that he's such like, and I realized this too. Like, I was starting to feel bad, like I'm really wrecking his life. But then I realized, no, none of his friends are like this. Like, all of my friends are like this.
Yeah.
He's friends with Les Moonves and fucking, and, you know, Sod, who we had it. Like, Jonathan knows really responsible, mature people.
They don't yell things out like April Fools.
No, April Fools. Like, and he could sit and hold
He does it wrong.
a brilliant conversation with anybody, and he knows how to fit into these like he met Condoleezza Rice, and with, I forget who, it might have been Side or someone hooked it up, but he had like a real conversation with her. Like, he can really have these chats because he's gone to these amazing places, and he fits into all of these. So there's something about like me and Florentine, like we're the only guys that fucking cut gassers in his car. Like, it's my favorite thing to do is to cut a putrid gasser in his car and then just wait for him to react, because he really gets angry about it.
You don't think Condi Rice did that?
Dude, none of his friends.
Condi cut a big fucking nasty one.
Well, Jim will say that to him, to any of your other friends drop gassers in the car. I'm like, no, it's fucking disgusting. And it's like, I realized that we do bring something to his life. Like, I felt like I was taking away from his life. Like,
no, you're right.
But you know what? We're an element of fucking shittiness and weirdness that you kind of need.
Yeah.
We're his dickhead friends. Like, you know what I mean? We're the asshole friends.
Yeah.
We just happen to be his clients. So I realize we do bring something to his life.
I love it.
How was the special, by the way? I was out of touch. I couldn't watch it from where I was.
Oh, it's funny as fuck, man.
I saw it live. I know it was funny.
Yeah,
but
really
I mean, how
good,
did it?
It looks great.
I have not talked to them. Thank you, man. I haven't talked to them at all. They put billboards all over LA for me.
The numbers were good.
They said that they were fucking thrilled with we haven't gotten real numbers. We got social networking numbers, and they said they crushed Madonna's social networking. I'm not bigger than Madonna, but she probably didn't promote it as much as I did. I was fucking tap dancing out there, promoting my, with the podcast and all that shit.
We heard you do the interviews.
Oh my god! You guys
we were listening.
That's right. We were.
Made for an easy day.
That was fun.
Yeah, those are actually better than I thought they would be.
They were great. There were some good radio shows out there too.
Yeah. Those guys, the names like Hot Wings and Free Beer Hot Wings are good, and Lewis and Floorwax in Denver are they're very natural.
Floorwax.
Yeah, they do a real radio
Larry
show.
and Floorwax.
No, Lewis
and Floorwax.
And they do a real chat.
They've been around forever.
Yeah. They're huge in Denver.
I think they started up before we did it.
Yeah.
Lewis and Floorwax.
Just no fake radio voices, just them chatting and fucking,
Ooh, yeah, it sounded good.
Jocktober's coming.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Countdown has begun.
I'm so gun shy when I go anywhere now because of Jocktober. The worst is like, well, we were on, someone will say, we were on Jocktober. I was like,
oh, sorry.
Hey, guess who doesn't have a gig?
Oh, no.
Poor
Did he get
Scorch.
canned?
Scorch is done.
Yeah, he did.
Scorch.
What do we do?
He'll find another job.
We finally
He always does.
We finally bring him to XM.
It's about time.
He said he was coming here.
The after show needs a co-host.
Oh, boy.
Badly.
Bring him down to co-host.
I used to do like a week with him.
Does that mean his giant TV show that reaches hundreds of millions of people, is that done too?
I think
PFG TV,
TV.
or PGF TV?
PFG is
PFG
pretty
TV?
effing good.
Right.
Yeah, I think that is.
That's done too?
Yeah.
They're saying goodbye to a show that brings in tens of millions of people?
God.
I mean, I just don't know.
Internationally syndicated.
Why would they get rid of an internationally syndicated fucking TV show?
Too much fucking money coming in, probably. They probably figured it's too much money is going to corrupt everyone.
How's his Facebook? How's he doing?
His Facebook's still killing it because he's.
What is he saying on Facebook? What's his last post?
I'd like to say
goodbye.
I'd like to say thanks again to all my Facebook family. I'm sorry, FB fam, who share my crap. Remember, the shares are really the only thing keeping this page afloat while I wait for my next gig. Then we all, including myself, get to meet new people from question. So thanks again, and keep sharing the good stuff. The stuff that blows, we can keep it between us. LOL.
I like the score.
How many followers?
Yeah.
He's got to 4,200.
4,200
All right.
likes. That's pretty good.
Hey. Good.
All right,
Poor
Scorch.
Yeah, good luck, Scorch. I hope he gets a gig.
He'll find another gig.
I hope so. I wanted to do that goddamn show. I couldn't get booked on it.
Yeah. He always gets another gig.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah,
what he's
he'll
doing.
We might have to play his last PFG TV show now.
It was so
That'll
good.
help him.
Why?
It won't
You're
help.
not kind about it.
Won't help him get a gig.
Look, he's not bad at what he does. In New Hampshire, radio stations like hamburgers. Scorch is a pizza.
Oh, God, enough.
Oh man,
Everybody
what
knows
happened?
that.
He's really got to change his diet at this point.
Yeah.
Got a little pizza.
Yeah. Radios are like hamburger. We're looking for hamburger. You're shit.
Oh man.
Terrible radio.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to find out about Anthony's kitten.
Oh.
It's kitten talk next.
I
boy.
like joking. Getting gad, taking that, you slob. LLT-ETLEY, Bill Tetley.
Opie and Anthony. This is the Opie and Anthony Show. Sirius XM.
The venue,
Yeah,
probably.
you got to slow this whole story down.
We
I want
get
to know
to
the
the
whole thing.
venue.
So now hold on. All right. So you talk for 20 minutes, and then he puts his headphones on to get in the zone for the show. You're still driving. Now you arrive at the venue.
Yes, and I had asked them the day before too, like, how long do you guys need before a show? You don't like to be bothered, and Ozzy immediately goes, 1 hour. I don't want to talk to anybody 1 hour before the show at least. And then, I think Geezer said 24 hours. Like these guys want to be left the fuck alone.
No shit.
So I watched actually Tony do his warm up, which I had never been on stage watching the warm up, and we just said a brief hello. And I know to step aside. Like I just don't want to be that annoying guy.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of hanging out backstage looking for shit to do. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to bother Ozzy. He's in his dressing room. And I've heard he does like vocal warm-ups, and that's what these guys do. These singers, it's a nightmare for these guys. They got to do 2 hours of vocal shit before they sing. So I'm one of his assistants, and this guy, Billy Morrison, who's, he was in the Cult, and he's, they're very close friends, and we just chatted.
Wow.
And it was remarkably...
Did you have him laughing on the way to his show?
Yeah, more on the way home. On the way to the show, we talked about it was about an hour ride to Irvine, and Florentine was telling Jonathan it's the only time Jim ever prayed for traffic. And we talked for about 20. He started yapping about movies, and then he listens to music, I guess, to get ready. Like they're all. You know how it is before show, man. You don't want to be fucking bothered. So I guess like 25 minutes into the ride, he puts his headphones on and just chills and listens to, I think, stuff he's going to sing that night and other stuff and whatever.
Did he go, yeah? Huh?
Ozzy, I'm trying to do this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I stayed away from him before the show.
Yeah.
I avoid.
Wait, you get to the venue.
We get asked to interview Black Sabbath, which I've done before, but this was for their
nice.
DVD. So they asked me
for the DVD.
They asked me to interview them for their DVD. Yeah.
Wow.
Which I
Holy
did.
shit, that's great.
That was pretty amazing.
Fucking cool right there.
right.
So I went to I went to Ozzy's house, and sat in Ozzy's house for a little while and interviewed Sabbath, and it was great. We talked for about an hour.
The whole band went there?
Yeah, I mean, it was Bill, Geezer, Tony. I mean, not Bill. It wasn't Bill. It was Ozzy, Geezer, and Tony.
Right.
And they had a ball. We had a few big laughs.
Oh.
And it was great. And I went to the show the next night, and they had asked me if I wanted to go with. I was going to get a ride with fucking Tommy, the drummer, and the fucking keyboard player Adam. They take a van. And I was supposed to go to the concert with them. I was like, fuck, I'm going to go with a couple guys from the band.
Oh, man.
And Sharon,
Now back to the Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM.
Jim Norton, why did you have the best week ever? The listeners are fucking pissed off at this point. We've been teasing this for 2 hours.
I don't think the listeners care, but I'll.
We had a week off, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
I chilled at the ocean. Aunt got a kitten.
Oh.
And Jimmy had the best week ever.
One of my better weeks. I don't have any great stories. I just was out in L.A. and I had fun. And, well, as everybody knows, I had
With famous people?
Well, a little bit. I was like, we'll get you a car if you want to bring somebody, or you could just go with Tommy and Adam. And I'm like, well, fuck, bringing somebody. I'll go with Tommy and Adam.
Yeah, of course.
But I didn't wind up going with them because I got 2 days before they called and they're like, would Jim want to go with Ozzy to the show?
Oh.
And I said, yeah, Jim would want to go with Ozzy to the show. So fucking the day after I interview Black Sabbath, I get picked up and taken to Ozzy's house, and I get to fucking go to the Sabbath show with Ozzy in his fucking car. We took an hour ride together in his car.
He wasn't driving.
No, it was an SUV, and it was his driver and his assistant were in the front, and then me and the Oz man in the two middle seats, and behind us was another